Morning, Flat Earth. How you doing? Welcome to a very early start to the podcast. It is currently just like 6 a.m. and I've been up. My dog woke me up, I don't know, about 3:30 or something with a bark, and he'd been not very well in his bed. He basically shit the bed. He shit the bed. It's happened to us all. Do you know what I mean? It's just that, what are you going to do, man? It happens. So I've been up cleaning his bed, and I just thought I'd take him out for a walk, take him out to this lovely little spot near us and just soak him in the water. So that's what we've been doing. Anyway, we're up. We watched the sunrise, which was awesome. Here's the thing. Have you ever been hit by an unexpectedly deep and reflective moment? You were there, you're minding your own business, you're washing a car, you're having a conversation, you're watching a film, you listen to some music, whatever you're doing, and all of a sudden you get hit with some deep introspection. I got hit with a very particular moment like that just the other day at my daughter's ballet show. And I'd like to invite you, welcome you, usher you into that moment. So we're gonna do that. But we are gonna head back to the studio to do that. It's supposed to be 40 degrees, 41 degrees today, hottest day in history, blah, 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 so you can watch me sweat. Anyway, we're gonna head back to the studio and we'll get into it. Deepness beckons. Oh, we got through this heat wave. It's actually the day after the intro I just recorded. Just stuff went a bit crazy yesterday, blah, blah, blah. You don't need to know that. Quick bit of business. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, subscribe, and press the little bell icon, and then you'll get alerted of all the video and content we do. If you want to find out anything more about the podcast, go along to theflatearthpodcast.com. There you'll find information, blogs, previous episodes, link to the Spotify audio channel, pictures of my face, and also a lovely, juicy, actually quite tiny, quite understated PayPal button if you want to give to the channel for any reason, just because I'm a nice guy, you like the look of my face and all the stuff I just mentioned, or you want to support the channel, help me get more equipment, cameras, build a palace of dreams, I don't know, start my own bank and give out good loans and mortgages to strangers I meet in the street and get this homeless problem sorted out. I don't know. It's up to you. You decide your level of giving. Hell, I might just take the money, run away from my wife and kids and never be seen again. We can't really tell. Let's find out. Let's do that together. Well, by together I mean just give me loads of money. Whatever. I don't know why this is a far too long explanation of a PayPal button. Anyway, back to the video at hand. Do you ever find yourself wandering in to an unexpectedly deep moment? Some kind of situation where deep reflection just lands upon you. A situation happened to me the other day. I wasn't inviting it. I was in a good space. I was very relaxed, very chilled. And all of a sudden, I found myself in a deeply intricate, intimate place of reflection. And I wanted to try and welcome you into that. Excuse the heavy breathing and noises. It's just my dog has just roamed into the studio. It's so hot outside, I can't keep the door shut. And if I'm in here talking, man just start, well, not, he's a dog, he's not a man, but like boy dog, he starts freaking out. But it's not me doing weird stuff and heavy breathing. It's this here pooch. Anyway, I was out the other day at my daughter does ballet. One of my daughters does ballet. She's been doing it for donkey's years. And you pay through the nose for ballet lessons and equipment all year round. And then eventually they do like an end of that year show. It's another chance where if they haven't taken enough money from you throughout the year, they get a chance to take even more money from you when you have to buy tickets, and they know you're going to bring the grandparents and friends and neighbours and whoever else you want to boast to about your kid being able to jump around on a stage. So we were there, and these are curious moments. I have to kind of just try and relax and stay chilled because you have to sit through like a 2 hour plus show of kids you don't know, just to get to your child possibly doing one, maybe two dances, That's it. So you wade through 2 hours of often hilarious, sometimes dire, always marginally entertaining dances until you get to your own child actually dancing, which is the thing you went for. But it is an atmosphere where I'm always a bit funny because it's often hot and uncomfortable. And they do that thing where it's your own child that you brought into the world. You paid all year to have them teach them how to dance, but you aren't allowed to take a photo or film your child. But some bod from their company does, and they will willingly charge you £1,175 per half a picture, or just £1,000,000 for an album of 4 pictures if you want to spread them around. So I often have issues in these sort of things, but I'm sitting there. It's Sunday morning. The show started at like 11. It's over in St Albans, and I'm watching the show, and like I say, like it's interesting. Like these interesting because it's very clear who the real dancers are, who are really into it, whose parents are really into it. And it's very clear the children that parents just wanted them out of the way for an hour every Saturday or Friday or whenever they did it. And they have no dance skills, values whatsoever. They're not even interested in being there. They're really kind of like grumpy about it. They haven't paid attention to any of the musical cues and any of the things they're supposed to be doing. They just kind of are lost in the pack. So you might have like 5 or 6 dancers, maybe 12 dancers at times on the stage, depending on the group. And you'll see within that dancers who are amazing, and then often people who are just kind of not picking up a check, are they? Their parents are paying the check just to get them out of the house, and they're there in this show. So it's hilarious, man. You see like proper dancers like doing their thing, and then you see like hoffa heffa lupper pigs, right? Just mad little kids, strange little kids with like bad social skills and weird. And like there was one dance where like these 2 boys at the back, they did nothing the whole dance. They didn't sway right. They didn't clap right. They didn't know any moves. They weren't doing no pliés or jetés or any of the positions of ballet that we all know and love. And I just thought, what are these people doing, man? These kids obviously are not loved. They are just thrown into this dance world so their parents can have an hour off from them. They look like they're probably ADHD, crazy kids, like, oh, whatever. It's probably good that they're doing it right. But I'm watching these 2 kids. And at a certain point, because it's kind of like more of a street dance situation, more than a classical ballet, at a certain point, the dancers come up in groups of 2 and do like a little dance move and then go off to the side, and then they carry on clapping, And but at this point, when these 2 boys came down, they suddenly showed their true colours. They suddenly just like one kid did like a jumping, flipping spin, and another kid somehow jumped up in the air and fell onto the back of his head, but then somehow did a flip off of his head. And I realised, oh man, it isn't that they're awful at ballet, it's that they're awesome at gymnastics. Sometimes people are just in the wrong situation, and this isn't the deep moment. Don't worry, this isn't the deep moment. This is just inconsequential. This is happening en route. Anyway, I'll say all this to say, I get to a certain point in this show where there's a dance, and each of the dances are 2-3 minutes long or whatever, are often quite dramatic songs, some sort of orchestral songs, some sort of deep like pop songs, but often like very felt vocals. And I can't even tell you what song it was, but I remember there were 2 dancers, and they have on the back of the stage a screen where that's my phone. That is bad podcastmanship. My phone is in my pocket and it's on. Can you believe it? I'm just the worst. Throw that out of the way. Anyway, so it gets to a certain point in this show, and they got on a projection. They got a screen at the back of the frickin' stage where they play images and stuff, right, and pictures and whatever, animation when the little kids are doing the little teddy bear's picnic dance. They put an image on this back wall during this dance, and quite unexpectedly, I'm taken in by this photo. And for the next 2 minutes, 3 minutes, however long this dance lasts, I'm gone. I am instantly in some other place. I am transported up out of this this theatre hall from the stage in front of me, and I'm somewhere else in my imagination, my feelings. I'm up in my feelings. If you're watching this and not just listening to the audio, I'll put the photo up now so you can see it. If you're just listening to this, because some people just listen to the audio feed of this podcast, or you might be on YouTube, but you're doing something and listen to it. I'll describe this photo to you. And I don't know a lot about this photo. I looked into it a little bit, had to find it. This photo was taken in 1940 during World War II. And I don't know if you know much about the history. I don't know an awful lot, but let me give you like audio description of this photo. It's a black and white photo. It's taken on you can see it's a train platform, or it's a loading bay outside of a train platform. There is an older gentleman who's obviously a porter, someone whose job was to load up luggage and transport it on a sack barrow, essentially, I guess from the front of the train station or whatever, to get loaded onto the train. So you have this image, loads of suitcases, all with individual name tags on it on the floor. This older man who's a porter, dressed in a very smart uniform, holding a barrow loaded with, I don't know, 10, 15 suitcases. On top of that barrow, and on top of those suitcases, is a young boy, also kind of smartly dressed like the kids wear in these sort of days, right? And he's holding on to the thing. He's kind of like got his arm up like he's riding a horse or a dragon or something. You can see he's having fun in this moment. That's the photo. Black and white, luggage on the floor, a sack barrow full of luggage being pushed by a porter in a hat and a full suit. And then a young boy, also in a flat cap and a kind of suit with some bags on himself, riding on a trolley, enjoying his life. This photo was taken, as I say, in 1940. And this is one of these moments, I'm imagining, where during the war in England, families were worried when bombs were being dropped on major cities. So they would send their children out to the outskirts of cities, to out into the country. And I'm told that this is a train station where children were waiting to be transported off to Wales, which is a part of the UK quite east. That's right, naughty elephant squirt. Oh no, what west? Sorry, out west, I guess, of London and down in the southeast there. Just it's west. This picture grabbed me. And I say, if you're just listening to this, it might be hard. I'll make sure this is on the website, and it'll be the thumbnail in one way or another of the video if you can catch it. But this photo grabbed me, because there's a couple of things going on. And let me talk you through some of these things and why it grabbed me and why I'm even talking about it, I guess. It's obvious that this is a time of conflict. Each one of those bags there with a name tag on it represents a child or children that were being sent away from their family. And the reason they're being sent away is their families are saying it's too dangerous for you to carry on living with us. The parents didn't go. The children were sent. So there's already that going on. These bags in this photo, I don't know, 20 or 30 bags here, represent fracturing, I guess, of families. But really the first thing that struck me, in this photo was the boy on the barrow there on top of the suitcases. Just like in the middle of war, in the middle of being separated and estranged from family, in the middle of maybe having a loss of family. Maybe that's why some of these children got sent, because their families have died and they need to just get them out of harm's way as best they could. You have this boy, and in the middle of this horrible moment, this adult moment, he's just enjoying riding on this barrow. He's just like, he's on there and you can see his hands up and he's like, yeah, is he a cowboy on a horse? Is he a knight fighting a dragon? What is he doing here? Is he holding onto a rocket? Is he in a car? Is he on a motorbike? What is he thinking? Whatever he's thinking, he's enjoying this moment, this young boy here in the middle of a horrible situation. He's playing. So I saw that. I was like, this is interesting. Then I looked at the man the porter pushing the barrow. He's an older gentleman, nearer the end of his life than he is the beginning of life. So you have this kind comparison here. The young boy at the beginning of his life and the older man pushing this barrow, holding up the weight as this boy rides on it, pretending playing. And this guy is kind of not expressionless, but you can't quite see. Let me zoom in a bit on my computer for a second. You can't quite see his face, his expression. It might be funny, it might be a slight smirk, but it's not an overwhelming grin. But nonetheless, he's there and he's pushing this boy, so he must be in agreement with it. The kid didn't just jump up. He's obviously in agreement with it. So you have this juxtaposition, the young boy at play, the old man at work, able to still embrace the play of the young child. And between them, on the barrow, baggage, stuff, collections of life so far, shoes, jumpers, toys, maybe books, maybe letters, maybe photographs. And in the moment in the ballet hall, I'm watching this and the dance is going on, but I don't see the dance. I'm seeing this photo and I'm just looking, I'm going, wow, we have a picture of life here. The fun and imagination of life and joy, despite horrible circumstances. Children find a way to play. And then we have the older man in the same moment, but older. He has duty, he has responsibility, yet within it somehow he still entertains the child. And the child isn't so scared of the man that he's not on there. He believes that this older guy's going to help him, let him play, if you know what I mean. And I'm stuck there for a moment. I'm looking at the boy and I'm looking at the man and I'm thinking, and this is where I'm in a reflective point in my life at the moment. I'm looking, I'm going, well, where am I at the moment? Am I at play? Am I in a place of duty? Am I in a place of, well, I've got to do things, of service, if you like? Where am I? And I kept looking at this. And I started to think, oh, wow, this is the bookends of life. The young exuberance and the old, you've lived your life. And I started to see these bookends going, oh, look at this, look at the journey. And in between them is just baggage. In between your youth and your old age will be the baggage of the experiences you collect, the people you loved, the things you lived through, suffered with, enjoyed, consumed, purchased. It's all there. And as I looked a bit further into this picture, I started to think about this and started to think about was actually something that come to me in this moment as I was looking at these pictures. I realized how many bags there were on the ground and there was no one else. That actually, between your youth and your old age, between being born and dying, you pick up so much stuff and it's just left at the end. These bags in front of this, they're just left. They're just there. No one's there to collect them, if you like. They're gone. It's just stuff. How much of our life is just the stuff we've collected and we think it's really important and we give our time to it, but really when we're gone, it remains. But I kept looking at this picture. I kept looking at the boy and the man and kept asking myself where I was and who I was and what's the interplay here. And something just hit me like, man. And this is the trippy bit for me. What if they're the same person? I know this isn't true of this picture, but what if in this picture, the old man pushing is the older version of the young boy being pushed? What if the young boy being pushed is the younger version of the old porter? The more I live, the more I realise and work with people, men and women. When I was a pastor for 15 years, as I'm living my life now, the more I work with people and work through issues with people, and the more I work through my issues, I realise that more often than not, there are very much issues to deal with in our life, and they come from young places in us. Young places in us. Developmentally, they talk about the years 0 to 8 being very significant, that those are very formative years. That in those first 8 years of life, you what you experience in those years really sets some stuff in place that will remain with you for the rest of your life. And we know, particularly in men, I don't know about cerebrally in women, but for men, our brains won't properly stop forming. Those synapses, those pathways really solidify until our early 20s. I'm 46 now, and how old you are listening to this, older, younger, who knows. But some things are set in us, but within us, some of the stuff that we come up against are connected to very young spaces in us. And I'm no psychologist, but I just learned that walking with people, that you talk to people enough, you'll begin to talk about childhood. You'll begin to talk about specific people, places, and experiences to do with when they were younger that have formed and shaped them. For good, not always for bad, but for bad as well. So I look at this picture and I'm like, I zone out and I'm like, oh my gosh, like rah, man, this is deep. This is deep. This porter is here reaching out to his young self and allowing play. And the young self is able to accept it from the old self. Unexpectedly deep. Now you might be listening to this going, this is unexpectedly deep and I'm not tracking. And that's okay, you're not tracking with this, that's fine. Different stages of life is going to hit you differently. But for those of you who look at this and you sort of go, oh wow, I'm seeing something, I'm feeling something here. I want to encourage you, because I want to encourage myself really, to not just be so busy in life that we just keep going, but actually think about who we are and how we have been shaped, how we have become what we've become. Because in each of us there is lots of stuff at work. There are lots of stuff in our mix, our childhood upbringing experiences that have made us who we are. And there's baggage we bring with it. In this photo, there's the unclaimed or yet to be claimed baggage on the floor. But then there's the baggage this boy is sitting on. There's the baggage that this old man is carrying. And despite the baggage, he's allowing the young boy to play. You get to a certain point in life, you start to reflect on things. And the truth is, most of us, we cannot unpack our baggage. We cannot deal with the stuff we've picked up until we will return to some places, return to some experiences, some stuff that we've gone through, good and bad, to work out our way forward. Because I'm here, I'm a 46-year-old man. I have 2 children, 14 and 11. I'm married to a lovely woman. She's 21. She's not, she makes me say she's 20. I'm contractually obliged. There's lots of stuff that's gone into my life. A lot of stuff has gone into your life, right? It just has. And there are certain points where you run up against things again and again and again, and you'll find that sometimes those relate to younger spots in your life. Not always when you're a child, but maybe in your teens, maybe in your 20s, whatever, but previous places you've come through as you've got to whatever point you're in life. And sometimes the only way to deal with them is to return and make friends with those spaces a little bit and confront those spaces a little bit. But like I say, all of this is happening in the 2-3 minute dance at ballet on Sunday morning. Unexpectedly deep. The weirdest moments when this comes up. And I'm on to the next dance, which is like I think a little children's group all dressed up as buzzy bees. And so the day continues. But this stuck with me so much I had to track down this photo and examine it and ask some questions of it. Let me ask you some questions coming out of this. make sure I'll put the photo up again. Where would you put yourself right now? Do you feel carefree like the child? Are you able to play in your life right now? Despite the baggage, are you able to just sit yourself up on top of all your responsibilities and just play a little bit? Are you more like the man? Do you feel like you're responsible? That you're having to cart this stuff around, carry this baggage, get stuff done? Is your life all about head down? Come on, we've got stuff to do. Do you ignore young places in you? You find it hard to play, to relax, to rest? A little while ago, I started drawing. I'm not a great drawer. I'm going to do a video on it at some point, but I'm just learning. I bought a book that talks about just drawing for the sake of drawing. That many of us were told we couldn't draw, and we were told this is what a great drawer is. And actually, that's a terrible thing to tell a person, that actually all of us can draw, all of us can doodle and sketch. And that's what I've been doing. And I've found it to be one of the most freeing things. Sometimes I sit down and I just start scribbling and I make a little drawing. And it sounds so weird, even saying it now, I feel like a weirdo. But it's been one of the most freeing things I've done in years. Because sometimes when you're the porter and you're carrying the responsibility and everything's on your sack, it can feel indulgent to kind of just sit down and just go, I'm just going to freaking doodle. I'm just going to draw for what reason? What's that for? Nothing. I'm going to do things for no reason. None. Look at this photo. Where do you place yourself? Because it's not good for all life to be play. It's not good for all life to be work. We learned that, right? Last couple of years pandemic, and we all had loads of time off. We learned that there's only so much Netflix, there's only so many Doritos, there's only so much downtime you can have before you need to have some actions. But we also know there's sometimes only so many hours you can work and only so much you can put into career and duty before you burn out. There's some balance in between that we can find. Anyway, I just thought I'd share this. I don't know if this is the strangest podcast I've ever done. I doubt it. There's probably been weirder ones. There was that one I never put up, but I recorded that was really strange. It's all about my first day at work. Very odd. That'll never see the light of day. I hope this has been good. I hope somehow, somewhere, this has been like a helpful thing for you. If not, don't worry. Just move on to the next one. And we're in that summer season now. And I'll try and keep the upload levels at the same. But whatever you're doing, you have a holiday, you have some time off, enjoy it, man. Maybe take some time to look back at your younger self. Consider your current self. Doodle, play, take your shoes off, walk in the sand. Bless you guys. Later.